Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Rex Butler, and I am professor of church history, recently retired from New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary. My wife Margie and I live in Tomball, Texas. We're only a mile and a half away from our grandkids, so we are getting accustomed to retirement, but really enjoying being so close to our family. But I'm grateful for this opportunity to teach this online class, History of Christianity, Early to Medieval. Many of you were in one of my classes this past year when I was on campus. You were either in the classroom or connecting via Flex. Thank you for joining me in this online format. Most of you are new, and I look forward to getting to know you during this semester. I'm here to review the syllabus for the class so that you can understand the requirements and expectations. But first, let me assure you, this is nothing like what you may have experienced in high school history. My wife Margie tells me that when she was in high school, the history class was taught by the football coach. And it was all about memorizing names, dates, and places. Well, we'll be doing a lot of that, but I want you to know that this class will be a vibrant review and retelling of church history throughout 1,500 years of the church, from the beginning of the church to the very dawn of the Reformation. And I hope to bring the subject alive for you. I kind of model myself after Professor Dumbledore, all right? And I want to make this a magical experience for you. If you are a fan of the Harry Potter series, you know that the professor of the history of magic was Professor Ben, and he was so boring that he bored himself to death. And then he continued teaching as a ghost. Well, I may be old, but I am not a ghost. And so I want to make church history interesting for you. We need to know what God has been doing among his people since the closing of the canon, and there's so much to study and to learn. Well, here is my contact information. I still will maintain my seminary email address, and that is the very best way for you to get in touch with me. If you have a question or a comment or want to connect, please send me an email and I will respond to you quickly. Usually within a day, unless you write to me during the weekend. Usually I reserve weekends for the family, but I will respond to you as quickly as I can through email. If you want to phone me, please do. My cell phone number is on screen. Please be aware that you will need to leave a message for me and I will answer. But please don't hesitate to get in touch with me if you have a question or a comment. All right, well, let's talk about the class. There are two required textbooks. One is Justo Gonzalez, The Story of Christianity, Volume 1, The Early Church to the Dawn of the Reformation. All right, there is an older edition, and you may use it if you prefer it, if you already have it. And then the second textbook is Documents of the Christian Church. This is a reader. It is a collection of primary sources written by the people that will be studying. And again, there are multiple editions of this textbook, and you're free to use any one that you can find or have. I have try to arrange the reading schedule so that the schedule is done by chapter titles or by the reading titles so that there's no page numbers, and so any edition should work with your reading schedule. There also will be additional required reading from the internet. These are available free, of course, but there's some other primary sources for you to read. All right, so once you get hold of these textbooks, you can begin reading according to the reading schedule. All right. We have the Canvas learning platform. We've been using this for a couple of years now. It works quite well. You'll go online to your Canvas account. You are automatically enrolled, and this will be published ahead of the first day of class. And so look for that, and you can begin to work your way through the Canvas learning shell as soon as it's available to you. All right, once you are online, you will look at Canvas. You'll go to the modules, and the very first module that you'll find is Welcome, Begin Here. All right, and that's what you need to do. Begin right there. You'll have a video welcome from Dr. Jamie Dew, president of NOBTS. What a guy. I love Jamie, and I know that you will enjoy getting to know him through this video. There also is a video from your professor, all right, talking about the development of the course. And then, of course, this video, which explains the syllabus. Also, you will find on that module, you'll find a syllabus and a course schedule. Please save this over, print it out, do whatever you need to be sure that you have access to these two very important documents. The syllabus with a list of textbooks, requirements, expectations, the reading schedule, and so on. The course schedule is lifted out of the syllabus in order to explain what to do when as we work our way through this semester. There are a number of course resources that are on this welcome module: a style guide, access to the library, news, writing center, so on and so forth. First thing that I would like for you to do uh, as you begin this course is to provide an introduction of yourself. So, week one, unit one, look for a link to introduce yourself. And tell your fellow students a little bit about yourself, where you live, what about your family, what's your background, what is your major, and what are your ministry goals. I'd be very interested to know that. If you're currently working at a church or whatever job you're working at, I would be interested in that. Tell me just enough about yourself that we can kind of know who you are. Oh, and I love pictures because that helps me connect with who you are. You'll find I've posted a lot of pictures and more information about me than you want to know. You'll find out about my wife, my family, and of course my grandkids. And yes, you will want to see pictures of my grandkids. All right. You also will find course modules with that will contain weekly to-do lists, your PowerPoint lectures. This is the heart of the class, is these video lectures that I've prepared for you. And so during each week, you'll spend time watching the video lectures. There are bonus features like maps or charts, or maybe some travel videos that I've done along the way. All right. Then you'll find your assignments. This is where you will post your weekly reading reports, your unit application points. You will take your unit tests, and you'll find study guides on these course modules that are organized week by week. All right, you'll complete your unit assignments on Canvas. And the first assignment we'll talk about are your tests. Okay, you'll see there are 6 tests that are required throughout the semester, and most of them are going to be due on Monday, with the exception of the Unit 1 test, because that week Labor Day is on Monday, and so I'm going to give you that day off, right? And so you'll have your unit test due on Tuesday, September the 3rd. All right. The unit exam is due at midnight at the end of the day. Okay. As someone once said, there are 2 midnights each day. Well, this is the midnight at the end of the day. So mark your calendar. Be sure that you know when your unit tests are due. All right, 6 unit tests. Each one is closed book, closed note, open memory. All right, so you're not to use any of your resources while you're taking your tests. For this reason, I grant only 25 minutes for each test, and it's going to shut down at the expiration of that time. All right, this means you will not have time to look up answers, and so you'll want to know them and answer them from memory. Now, listen closely. The base value of each exam is 25 points, but you'll find that in each test, I've added a few extra questions that give you an opportunity to gain a few extra points. All right. Now, remember that these are bonus questions. Bonus is from a Latin word that means good. And so these bonus questions are good for you. They give you a chance to earn extra points. However, because of the nature of Canvas, your total will include the full number of questions that are there. All right. What I mean by that is you might score 25 points out of a possible 28, and you'll think, oh no, I didn't score a perfect grade. Don't worry about it because the base value is 25 points. So whether you earn 25 points, 28 points, 20 points or less, just remember that it is a 25-point value test. And if you score more or less, 25 is the base. I know this sounds confusing right now, but I assure you that it's going to be just fine. All right, these are objective questions. There'll be multiple choice. There'll be matching. There'll be some fill in the blank, some listing, maybe a true false here and there. But these will not be difficult questions. They'll not be lengthy essay type questions. And so you'll be able to complete the test within 25 minutes. Now, this is very important. If you miss a deadline, I will not reopen the test. At midnight, at the end of the due date, the unit exam will disappear and you will have no more opportunity to take that test. Do not ask me to reopen the test because the answer will always be no. Okay, so don't miss that deadline. Be sure and mark it on your calendar and be aware that it's coming. All right, the lowest test grade will be dropped. In other words, there'll be 6 tests, but only 5 will count. This is in case you forget one. It'll be all right. You won't lose any points if you have any computer problems. If you go out of town to lead a revival or a D-Now, if you go to grandma's house and she has a dial-up or something like that, that doesn't happen anymore. Sometimes the grandparents have better technology than the students do. But nonetheless, the lowest test grade will be dropped. This means that at the end of the semester, if you're satisfied with the first 5 test scores, you can exempt yourself from the 6th test. Okay? We'll talk more about that as we go along this semester. Now, also, you will have reading reports due every week. So keep up with your reading every week. And again, the reading report is available on Canvas. And if you miss the deadline, I will not reopen the reading report. Now, as you read, you need to estimate the percentage of reading that you completed in 20% increments. What does that mean? That means the best approach is to read everything, and that's 100%. So there's no estimation. But if you don't quite read everything, well, then that's 80%. And so if you read 100%, you get 2.5 points. If you read 80%, you get 2 points. Maybe you read just a little more than half, that's 60%, 1.5 points, and so on. But please do your reading, because you will be reading information that I think is important for you in order for you to learn everything that I want you to know about church history. Now, at the end of the semester, there will be a bonus reading report available. And so if you complete all of the assigned reading for that semester, you can get 5 bonus points towards your total grade. Okay. Now, this is all or nothing. It means that if you've read everything that semester, you get 5 points. If you didn't read everything, well, then don't worry about it. You won't get any bonus points. This means that if you go through a unit, or I'm sorry, if you go through a week and you didn't quite read everything, then you can make that up later. It won't add any points to your weekly report, but it will add some points to the end of the semester. All right, and the reading schedule is included in the syllabus and the course schedule. And part of your assignment is application points. My goal for you this semester is that you will apply what you are learning to your life and your ministry. And so I'm going to ask you to write out application points throughout the semester. You'll consider the lessons that you learned during each unit, and you'll compose an application point. It could be a sermon illustration, an application to your ministry, or a lesson learned from your personal life. And actually, sometimes we can learn negative lessons. That is, we can learn what not to do based on some of the people that we are reading about. And so, after studying the assigned reading, the lecture material, bonus features, and so on, open the discussion question forum and create your own thread. Your thread should be about 150 to 300 words. All right. Now, the application point actually is due sometimes in the middle of the unit, and so you will not have had time to cover everything in that unit. Don't worry about it. Just base your application point on what you have studied. We have so much to do during each unit that I can't always make the application point due at the end of the unit. But at any rate, here are some ideas about what you can write for your application point: a sermon illustration or a teaching point that you learned from this period of church history. How could you use specific stories or examples from this unit in your preaching and teaching? You could share an insight that you learned from this period that you plan to apply in your ministry, either now or in the future. How can events from this unit teach us to serve better? Or you might have an experience from this period that is inspiring to your personal devotion to Christ. How has studying this unit impacted your personal Christian life? Do you see there's so many ways that you can apply church history to your life and ministry? And I want to hear about this. All right. So one application point each unit. And so the application points are due at certain dates, and here they are listed. And of course, they're in your course schedule and your syllabus. Each application point is worth 15 points. All right, there are two written assignments this semester. Both of them are book reviews. All right, I used to assign research papers where you would have to read 10 books and put them together for a topic. Then I decided, if a student reads one good book, that good book will teach them about a subject. And so I have one book review due for a biography. So you will read and review a biography of a subject located within the parameters of the early church and medieval era of the church. Okay, and then there are suggested biographies included at the end of the syllabus. All right, so you can look through that list, choose a book, and read it, review it, and submit the book review. The book review of the biography is due on September 23rd. There is no need for you to get permission if you are choosing a book from the list. Just go ahead and choose it and read it and review it. If there's a book not on that list that you want to read, well, then you have to get permission from me to do that. All right, the book review should be between 6 to 8 double-spaced, typewritten pages in length. It should have a bibliographical entry at the top of the first text page of the review. All right, it should say, Butler Rex, evidence of Montanism and the Passion of Perpetua, publication information, so on and so forth. It should have a brief biographical sketch of the author. I mean brief, just a few sentences, just telling us about the author. Usually you can get this information on the back of the book or on a website, but be sure and write this biographical sketch in your own words, no copying and pasting. Now, the most important part of the book review, the body of the book review, is a summary of the contents of the entire book. All right, and you'll be graded based on whether or not you survey the entire book. But that's not all that's part of a book review. I also want you to give an application point about the impact of this person's life and ministry on you. So again, I'm looking for more application. How are you going to apply what you learned from your reading to your life and ministry? All right, now, be sure to include a cover page with your name, the title of the book, and so on. You'll see how to do a cover page on the NOBTS style guide. But the cover page does not count toward the 6 to 8 pages that are required. Okay? Now, the second book review is much like the first book review in terms of style and requirements, but the second book review will cover a movement or an event, something broader like Christian women or martyr stories or the Crusades or the conciliar movement, so on and so forth. And so you'll find a list of books also in your syllabus at the end. And so choose one of those books, or if you want to do a different book, get permission. The second book review is due on November 15. All right, there are a couple of services that are available to you to help you do a good job on your written work. One is Turnitin. When you submit your book review, it automatically will be evaluated. Turnitin will highlight the material that's found in its database. And so you need to check the highlighted material to be sure that it is cited properly. If you're quoting it, be sure that you're using quotation marks and giving a reference. If there's too much that is highlighted, that means you don't have enough of your paper in your own words. And so you need to go back and look at the paper and be sure that most of it is in your own words. I know you're reviewing a book here, but I don't need you to quote the book. I can read the book myself. I want you to summarize it in your own words to show your professor that you read the book. So Turnitin is a helpful tool to prevent plagiarism uh, and uh, and to be sure that it's authentically your words. All right, and then another tool that you have is the Right Stuff. This is the writing center that's available to you. You can submit a draft to the writing center, but you need to do it early because it takes them at least 3 working days to respond to you. So do your work early, submit it to Right Stuff, and that will help you in all of your academic writing, not only to be a better writer, but to make better grades. Well, now I've got to put on my ugly face, all right? And be sure you understand the expectations and requirements and the penalties if you neglect them. All right. First of all, unit tests and reading reports, they must be submitted by the deadline. After the deadline, unit tests, reading reports will not be reopened. Okay, so don't ask. I will say no. And the good news is that one unit test grade will be dropped. So if you forget one unit test, you won't be penalized. All right. Also, application points. You need to participate adequately. That is, it needs to be substantive, needs to have enough words to communicate well about your application point. You must do it in a timely manner, or this will affect the amount of points that are awarded. Hardiness. All right, let me confess that I probably am one of the toughest professors about punctuality. All right, a late project will be assessed a 10% penalty if it is submitted after the deadline. All right, and the penalty is doubled after 5 days. So, in other words, each book review is 60 points. If it's late, it's going to lose 6 points. If it's after 5 days, it's going to lose 12 points. And after a week, the penalty is so severe, I don't even want to talk about it. All right. So I expect you to turn your work in on time. All right. Plagiarism and AI. Oh my word! How many ways are there to create infractions for writing honestly? Okay, a high standard of personal integrity is expected of all students at NOVTS. If you plagiarize, that is, if you present your work as your own and yet it is someone else's work, that's plagiarism and you'll be penalized. If you utilize artificial intelligence to write your papers, Turnitin will notify me and you will be penalized. All right, and so look at the graduate catalog for more information on the definition of plagiarism, and the use of AI is new, but it's considered the equivalent of plagiarism, and you don't want to do it. I sure don't want you to do it. All right, so now all of that is over with. I can put my happy face back on, and we can continue talking about our class. All right, this is the way you'll be graded. Every assignment earns you points, and you add up points as you go along. Reading, if you read everything throughout the semester, that's 30 points. If you read everything and get a bonus point, well, then you got 5 more points coming to you that's not listed here as part of the base. Same thing with the tests. There are 5 of the tests will be counted toward your final grade, but again, you can earn extra bonus points along the way. So you see, there's a lot of ways to earn points in this class. 2 book reviews, each one is due 60 points. Your application points add up to 90 points. And so there's a total of 365 points as the base goal for the semester. So if you earn between 340 and 365 points, that's an A. between 310 and 339 points, that's a B, and so on. Now, let me make a prediction. More than half of you will make an A. That's always the case. In my classes, more than half my students make A's. Out of the other half, most of them will make B's. There will be a few C's and D's, but if you want to fail my class, you have to work very hard at it. All right. In other words, failure means that you didn't turn in an assignment, or you turned it in late, or you committed plagiarism. But that's what it takes to fail my class. Otherwise, if you do the work, you will do well. All right. So I just want to assure you that this is a very doable class, and I want you to do well in the class. All right, emergency. Oh, I just hate to say the H word, but we've already had one this year. It sure impacted me here in Tomball. And so if we have a storm and you have to evacuate, or if there's a problem where you are, anywhere along the coast, we will be aware of it. And so the seminary, if the seminary has to change plans, information will be posted on the NOBTS website, and then you can check Canvas for instructions related to this class. All right. Well, I just want to assure you that I have great passion for church history. So much so that here is a picture of me visiting the arena in Carthage, North Africa, where Perpetua and Felicitas and their companions were martyred. This story is part of the passion of Perpetua and Felicitas. We'll talk quite a bit about persecution and martyrdom early on in the semester. But I just use this picture as an illustration to assure you that I have a great passion for this subject, and I want to share that passion with you. So I hope that you also will love church history. If not at the beginning of the semester, well, then by the end. We're going to be covering 1,500 years of church history. What a trip. Let's get ready to go. Bye bye for now.